so where you at? Where you, so where you at?
Good afternoon and welcome to another great show. I'm your host, Olu Jabari with Just Kickin It. We, again, are here at 43710 Shaner Road in Sterling Heights, Michigan, at home of Jabari's Martial Arts Academy, a world championship training school. Today on our podcast, I'm going to have another great young man. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but just so you know, reach out to us again at 313-629-8524. Send me an email at justkickthem@gmail.com. Also reach us on Facebook. Leave me a quick message. I'll return your call. Love to have you on the show. You're a martial artist, you're in Michigan or abroad, we can connect. So again, Just Kickin' is a show for everyone around the world to not only watch or listen to, but to learn from those who have walked in some giant footsteps. So I got my guest today. I just had his phenomenal daughter on the show, Orvi, who has been all over the world, and she's only 19 years old. I've only been across the street. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving time on this podcast to talk about myself. First, I want to appreciate JMAA, the school where I started teaching martial arts, learning martial arts. Most importantly, giving me a chance to teach here. As you know, which I always talk about, for me, it's extremely important what I give back to society, not what I take from it, right? With that said, all the students that come to our school and all the adults that have been training here at our school, it's important for them to know martial arts and the sports karate, it is beyond just the art itself, and it is more to it, and it is the life's principles, and it's what is connecting us to it.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I've been teaching, and that's what the knowledge I got from you, Master. I
Yes,
appreciate you giving time. It is not like my daughter or other students that I didn't get to learn martial arts at a young age. I grew up, I was in job. By the time I had my daughter, that's when, she also was at maybe like 12, 13 years of age. That's when I started, getting. Although I had the arts, the fighting, and the exercise, and basically building your body kind of mindset. I didn't practice it all along, but with her coming into the school, kind of helped me. And as she mentioned, that it is my wife that pushed us both to do something with it, and that's when I came to JMAA.
Yeah, and I love it. I always talk about your family, Orvi. And your wife, and you're a unit. When I see you and I watch you teach, and I know that I always tell folks, you can only teach what you've been taught, but I like for you to put your own flavor on it when you're teaching, right? Yeah. Basics are basics, but still, you have to teach it your way, your way. And I always tell folks, when we start, and even as an adult, it makes more sense to teach it because of your background, and we're going to talk about your background in engineering, all the other things you see and that you can do to enhance how we teach and what we teach our kids from an engineering perspective, right? Because martial arts is engineering. It's how you do stuff. You have to engineer your body to be able to kick and punch and know how to do it. So let's talk about your first class. If you even remember when you first started, can you give me a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yes. Like you said, one advantage that I get compared to the other students is as you grow up, your understanding to different things is different.
Yes.
I am very blessed that way that, even from my parents or even from my wife's parents or my in-laws and her grandparents, it imparts a different type of knowledge that we look at this nature and this world as a completely different unit.
Yes.
Sometimes when I talk, I don't make sense. Even to Urvi, I tell the same thing. It is something that we don't understand as people, that your body is one unit and your mind is one unit. And then I use an example, like, for example, I take my mind and I put it in you. and I take your mind, put it in me. When somebody sees you, will they be calling you, hey, this is Sam? No. They look at you, they recognize you by your face, but not by the mind that is inside here, right? So with that said, you have to treat your body as a weapon by itself, right? And some of the techniques that you taught me, things like that, kind of came in very handy. And all along as I'm learning up, my understanding to why we do certain things is completely different than what students understand. Yes. I remember you very specifically saying that, don't worry about this technique. Keep repeating it 1,000,000 times before it becomes like a second nature in you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For me, yes, maybe they have to do 1,000,000 times for it to become second nature. For me, I keep telling myself that this is if I do like 100 times, that gets ingrained in me, right? So the learning part of it becomes extremely shorter and smaller. So that means, you're trying to train for like a worlds or something like that. And that's what we will tell Urvi. You don't have that much time. You have only little time. In that little time, you should make your body all mind or all mind into your body. It is a concept. It is very, very difficult even for people to understand. If you talk to world champions, sports psychologists, and all these people, they say the same thing, right? You have to make your body into mind. Your body should become all mind. What does that even mean? Right? Like, for example, we talk about memory. Memory is not just in your mind, but memory is in every cell of your body. The reason why I look like my parents or like my mom or my dad is because of the genetic DNA that has given to me, right? So, even like, for example, when we're writing, the fingers have that memory. It is not writing from your mind, but your mind, the body is doing something by its physical memory, the muscle memory and things like that. Like riding a motorcycle. How did you switch gears so quickly? Because you rode it so many times. And so that's what it is. That's what I try to teach my students when it came to the first class, that, don't worry about it. Continue doing the way I'm doing it. I am not going to explain what I'm going to do for you, but for the adults, I'm going to explain it in a different way they can understand.
Yes.
So that's the advantage. That obviously I learned it from you. Learning from you as you're teaching me, and I'm watching exactly how you're doing it. Observation is the key, right? Without that, nothing else works in the world. Right? Most of the time you see animals in the wild as they are doing something. How are they doing it? They don't have vocal language, but they're observing so much what the mom does or what the dad does, and that's exactly the skill set that gets in them. And that's what I try to bring into my students in the class when I teach as well.
And I like that because people will say, this is deep. This is what we have to understand. There's an analytical and an intellectual side to martial arts. You don't just come to class and start kicking and punching. And when we teach it here, even your daughter Orvi, she teaches. She teaches totally different than the way you teach. She knows how to teach, but she puts her own flavor on it. You put your own flavor on it. But here's the thing, everybody comes out looking great. Now, I always tell people, when we do tournaments and stuff, we're going to get into that. I'm not afraid of the person who does 1,000,000 techniques 1,000,000 times. I'm watching the one who does the one technique 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's Bruce Lee's famous sentence.
That's his thing. So as we get into this teaching, and you've been a great asset to our school, and to most of, if not all of our parents who've met you, have always said, wow, there's some structure and there's some strength and there's some stringiness in him. He don't take no stuff. I say, no, he's teaching. He adds his own flavor to it. The things he's telling your children are probably some of the things you're afraid to say to them. Like, listen, stop, look, pay attention, right? They're not used to hearing that. So when they hear from a male's voice, it automatically makes them feel like, he being mean to me. No, I'm teaching you. This is a voice you probably don't hear. And it goes back to that male being in the household. But let's get back to the karate sauce. When you're teaching a class, I like the way you break it down. And talk to us just a quick minute about how what you do is part of how you teach. As far as your skills and your work, what you do, how does that reflect on how you teach? Is there any of that part of that?
Absolutely. So I'm an engineer by profession, automotive engineer. I've spent in automotive industry for close to around like 25, 30 years.
Wow.
I also have same from U of M. I have degree in business administration, master's in business administration. I also have master's in finance, and I also have master's in mechanical engineering as well. So
I'm working on a master's in martial arts soon. Keep going.
So for me, unfortunately, I don't have that emotional bent of mine. I can only think with my left brain. It is my very hard and strong shortcoming. I can only think logically. For me, emotion does not have space at all. And like the fine arts and things like that, when we watch, let's say I see Urvi do it, I see my wife do it.
Yes, sir.
There are times when, you have a hard day at work. Everybody has hard day. Everybody feels bad. Everybody feels emotional and you want to do something. If I have to pick up an instrument like let's say play flute or piano, I have no way of expressing myself. I only see things in a logical fashion. So martial arts kind of comes in handy. One of the greatest things that, I learned from you, and I even, know that from before, and I even, teach to people and talk to people about, or students about, is your greatness and comes from when you are training by yourself personally.
Yes.
There is nothing you can, there is nothing about, I want to win this, I want to win that. You are trying to make yourself your personal best, right? So that's what kind of helps. So with that said, I'll have a lot of time. In the morning time, I wake up, I go running, and then I have like Bob in my, garage as well, and I have a little bit of different, equipment as well there. I designed my own, like a Wing Chun dummy, if you will. And then I welded it at work, and I got some scrap steel and I welded it at work,
Wow.
And I added some padding for Urvi, but I don't like padding because that cold steel, especially on your hands, kind of, helps you to train better.
Yes.
And so I break everything down. It's like, like you say, step 1, pick up your knee. Step 2, release your legs. Step 3, bring it back. Step 4.
Yes.
And so I'm timing it and breaking those into logical steps. And that kind of helps all this engineering techniques that we learn about, and some of the mechanical engineering or automotive engineering and things like that, the physics that goes into it, the inertia, the momentum, and all these I kind of bring in, and I even, I have fun with kids. Like when Urvi was growing up, and when she was little, at 4 years old, she was, riding bicycle and say, "Hey, Dad can't run by himself. Somebody has to drag him." So I put a rope to the to her bicycle, and I'm kind of holding it only because you're pedaling, you're pulling me and able to run.
Yes.
While we're running, and I ask her some basic math questions or physics questions. Why do you think that, when you're pulling this way, when you're banking at certain angles, something needs to... So even at that young age, she is able to think about all these things, right?
Yeah.
And so when 6th or 7th grade, she was in school, said, "Dad, they're teaching this some mathematics stuff, and then this is exactly what you taught me when I was 4 years old. Everything goes to go." So I said, "Girl, listen, you become something or somebody not because of what you did, because of who you are with."
Yes.
Environment plays a huge role. Okay?
Yes.
It is my job within this 4 walls of JMA to create that environment, controlled environment, where we are inculcating that thinking in them, that this is what happens.
Yes.
Some students take it positively, some students don't. Somebody says, "Oh, this instructor is asking me all math questions. I came here to learn karate. Why is he asking math?"
It's martial arts.
It is martial arts.
Yes.
It is about your life.
Yes.
What you do in school matters the most, not just, I'm attacking somebody. you're learning math, especially, or physics, or this or that, also along with this. And who does that, right?
Yes.
So in a way, it is a good thing for you. And I'm not trying to force this, but I'm explaining this to the parent.
Yes.
When a parent walks in, don't think I'm arrogant. Don't think I'm, raising my voice. That is the only way they are able to pay attention. Okay, I am not a mean person. I just want you to understand that if I'm stern, that's what kind of brings their attention, focus, span to my class. That way, at least this one hour. If you are here, this is what, we talk about, like all kinds of meditation, this mindfulness, this and that. It could be a foreign concept, but it is not. When you are here, your mind is here.
Yes.
You are writing, I'm talking to you. My mind is only focused on talking to you. I'm not thinking about going home to have lunch or dinner or this or that, right?
Yes.
Be here when you are here. When you are not here, be somewhere else.
I like that.
So when you are focused that way, that span of learning or something becomes very short.
Yes.
Like you said, Urvi started this. She said, Dad, there's something called WKC and I want to do this. She came to you, Master, and she said, this is what I want to do. They said, the road is going to be long. You will have, to train for long. But it has not been more than a year. It's just been like 4 months. First time she attempted, she got the medals. There is nothing special. Everybody is capable of doing that.
Yes.
But in order for you to do that, you have to understand yourself. Your body, you have to understand. Your mind, you have to understand. Beyond that, don't expect anything. Give as much as you can. The nature takes care of you.
Yes.
Don't worry about a thing. Let the nature be your guiding principle to this life. You can call that God. You can call this anything.
Whatever you want to call it.
So.
And that's the phenomenal thing about martial arts is that what we do here at JMA and most schools around Michigan, when you said the math and the science, standing still is math and science. Breaking a board is math. Breaking bricks, everything we do, a movement, math and science. Your eye twitching, math. I'm speaking, math and science, right? Your body cannot live without it. It's the way of the world. It's the way of your life. And we were created to have these opportunities to overcome any of these little things that people say, well, you might not never do that. Oh, no. You're not going to tell me what I can't do, right? Because now I want to do it more. But that's why I like when you said when she was 4 years old, she was able to grasp those things. Who says that they can't learn at 4? That's why we start here at age 3. If you give it to them early, they'll remember it and receive it, right? Yeah. So some of the kids, when you talked about teaching, most of the times their parents don't understand because they haven't had it given to them that way. Like there's some times when I have to say, hey, look at me when I'm talking to you in class, right? It's not a mean thing. I'm trying to get your focus. And I hear that in you when you deal with Orvie, when you deal with yourself at work, in the community, the way you and your wife are just like an A-team, bouncing off of one another. You get to a point where folks say, well, you've been together 25 years. Y'all know what each other going to say. No. That's math and science. That's listening and learning for 25 years. And then you learn something else you didn't know about them, right? So I'm saying to you is that from a martial artist perspective, you've done some tournaments. You train kids for tournaments. I've heard that you did a tournament and you bust up some folks' ribs and stuff like that. But let's go back to that because that itself is math and science. But let's talk about this adrenaline we get when we get excited about doing stuff. I get excited about doing this, right? I dream it all the time. When you do a tournament, once you get into it, slowing down might take a little time. So let's talk about when you did your tournament, when you were fighting. How did you feel like your first fight? How did that feel to you?
So first time when I stepped into the ring and I started, wanting to spar, I told myself that the person that I was sparring was much bigger than I am.
Yes.
I am only 6 feet. He was 6'4". I am 190 pounds. He was like 250.
Wow.
And his dad was just like you, like, you know, 5th degree black belt, and he has his own school and he's teaching and stuff like that.
Right.
So as we walked in, and his dad looks at me, this is who you're he's putting all kinds of, you know, shin pads, elbow pads and stuff like that. His dad is looking at me, looking at him, and said, you know, this is going to be a quick fight.
Ooh.
Don't worry about it. You know, and that person happened to be half my age.
Wow.
And knowing full well that, you know what, I am going to get beat down. This is not the first time,
Right.
you know, that, you know, I've been beat down, you know, hard. So, but I run a lot. I work out a lot.
You do.
I know exactly how to control my breathing and things like that. So there was no, you know, Urvi talks about these butterflies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I was like that when I was 19, but after that, once I got into a different, like the mind control techniques, nothing like that ever mattered.
Okay.
So it comes in, and then, you know, you always kept looking at me and say, hey, snap kick is your strong suit, right? So I go in, he tries to punch me from the side. I kind of move and I do a snap kick right to his chin. And then he realizes, oh my God, so my dad is wrong and I need to be doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Then he loses his cool and is starting to attack me. So he throws a real hard punch and I move and I block with my middle, you know, like a middle block.
Yes, sir.
And then I kind of, you know, put him down and I, you know, punched him real hard. His mouth guard felt, you know, flying, right? And then he comes back again. It was continuous sparring. He comes back again trying to punch me. And because he was tall, I kind of come down and I did one of those techniques like real hard 3 or 4 times. And I didn't realize that I was hitting him hard.
Gotcha.
Then he goes, stop. The judge stopped and he made me walk out, and then my back was facing him. He said, no, it is done. You don't have to fight. I'm like, it is not even, not even like a minute or minute and a half or something
Yes, sir.
like that. And then they declare, and then the guy goes, see how hard you hit me? You got to be careful with yourself. He goes to me. I was merely a green belt and he was a black belt.
Correct.
So since then, I kind of, it was just one of those things that, confirmation that, you know what, you don't have to worry about anything or anybody. You could be a big person, a small person, things like that. Like, Master Dixon is saying, believe in yourself. Don't worry about winning or losing. That will automatically come. When you are there, do your best.
Yes.
Don't leave any complaint for you that, you know what, I could have done this, I could have done that. Be in that moment. When you are doing it, do it the best you can, and then don't worry about it. Winning or losing, it will automatically come.
And that's a beautiful thing about the art is that I teach, and I always say this, when you join our school, we teach you to lose first.
Yeah.
We teach you how to lose.
Yeah.
Because a person who wins all the time and then finally loses a match can't accept it. They stop going to class, they stop training, they stop tournaments. And guess what? The next thing they get into may be a job or something or an altercation where they disagree. They walk away. They quit their job, right? There's always a solution to every problem.
Yeah.
That's why problems arise.
Yeah.
Because there's a solution for it, right? Yeah. So I'm taking what you're saying from an analytical perspective and saying that's what we need in martial arts. It's not just kicks and punches. It's how those kicks and punches are coordinated to make things work. But like you said, all parts of your body has its own mind. I just teach you to use what you have.
Yeah.
That's it, right? In martial arts, in engineering, I don't know engineering, right? But you can pull out of me what I already have. I just don't know it, but you can give it to me. So you're really saying, hey, I'm just pulling out what you already have.
Yeah.
Only reason you don't know it because somebody showed it to you.
Agreed.
Now you got it. And that's what martial arts does. It pulls out what people have in them, and then they understand that this is a real way of life. This is what it takes. Yeah. Once you give up on one thing, you give up on something else, And then obviously you become this person. People want to say he's a loser, but even a loser has an opportunity to be uplifted. We just don't want them to get to that point where they think that everything they do is going to be a winning situation. It's a solution situation. We can go back and correct it, right? Because anything messed up, we can repair, we can fix. But you don't give up on it because it doesn't go your way. Would that be right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, I mean, like you said, right? Example, let's say I go to a hospital. You know, the other day I cut my finger off and I put that piece in milk, and then I'm trying to go there. It's stupid kitchen stuff,
Okay.
right? They put me there for almost 5 hours or 6 hours, something like that. And I was even went to hospital, try to get glue and put it together, right? But if you get in that mindset, in my lifetime, there is so much time I have to wait. This is what is destined for me. But I'm glad that this is happening, that 6 hours is taken. Now it is all about winning. I don't have to wait anymore.
Yes, sir.
If you have in destined to lose like 15 times, if I lost all 15 times once, I've already done with that part. Now I have only winning part waiting for me. Right?
Yes.
That's how you need to do. I mean, at the end of the day, it is not anything with the kids, right? You always have, anytime I see kids, something bad happens, we never have a kid problem. We have a parent problem. Every kid is great. Everybody is great. We just need to bring that greatness in them.
I like that.
As simple as that. If somebody talks to me rough, like yesterday we met with example, I said, only because I'm negating with you doesn't mean that I'm not a bad person. If somebody is negating with me, they're telling me what I missed learning.
Yes.
Embrace that. Not everybody that agrees with you is your friend. Not everybody that disagrees with you is your enemy. Right? I'd rather have somebody who is stern and an intelligent enemy than a stupid friend. I get to learn. It is not about you. If you're grounded, you think you're just nothing but a small person to the ground. It gives you that opportunity to learn.
Love it.
And that's what I'm trying to tell parents, teachers, students, anybody that comes. Don't think, oh, my son is not kicking hard enough and he's not winning. Winning will come. He's not in the martial arts to win.
Teach.
He's in the martial arts. It is something to better himself that gives him that confidence. When I started, now you tell me go to any corner of the globe, any dangerous situation, it doesn't bother me. Only thing is at least I can withstand for 2 minutes defending myself. That's how I think.
Love it. And that's the way we have to think, as we're going to wrap this segment up again. And you said, be your best. Brother Zell Miles Dixon said your personal best. Said the same thing on the show. We had not had this discussion about being your best, so it's great when martial artists think alike. Excuse me. Again, love what you're doing with yourself, Sam, with your daughter, with your family. And again, reach out to us at 313-629-8524. Send us an email at justkickthem@gmail.com. See us on Facebook. And now, is there anything you'd like to leave us with, or is there a way that we can reach out to you if students want to reach out to you? Somebody might just want to talk with you because of the wisdom that you have. Any information or any phone number?
Yeah, absolutely. I can leave my phone number with you, or if you want to get in touch with me, you can always reach out to Master. Master has my contact.
Yes, sir.
Lately, I just changed my jobs and I am traveling a lot. But regardless, if you reach out to me via email, text, anything like that, I'll get back with you as quickly as I can. If I can help anybody better themselves, I am all for it.
And that's what we need.
All for it.
That's what we need. So we're going to wrap it up. This is a wrap. Again, Just Kicking Them, 313-629-8524. Or send me an email, justkickthem@gmail.com. I'm your host, Olu Jabari. Have a great day.